Previously on the Infinite Escape Room.
Occasionally you find yourself flapping your wings a bit and honking.
We're not in England.
It would slowly zoom out to show him pitching a tent in his jeans.
If you were suddenly turned into a man, what would be the very first thing that you would do?
Have a wank.
Hello and welcome to the Infinite Escape Room, the puzzling podcast where a group of geographically diverse pals meet up, have a couple of cheeky drinks, and work together to solve a homemade escape room of the ears. I'm Jamie, your host for this week's plethora of puzzles, and this week, because this episode is going out to the public just before Independence Day, I'm drinking a Shipyard, American IPA from Portland, Maine, but brewed, I believe, somewhere in Wolverhampton. So, cheers to those across the pond.
It's a Green King Shipyard, isn't it?
Does not say, but it's got the word America written all over it, so why would they lie?
You thinking of the icebreaker?
I am thinking of Icebreaker, you know.
But it's lovely. It's one of the ones I tend to go for in the pub. I never realised it was an American ale.
Oh.
So it's very nice. And locked in with me today, we have a trio of treasonous troublemakers.
Hello, I'm Ben Levy-Griffiths, and this week I am drinking a Midnight Express from the Salopian Brewery. And
How is it, Ben?
it's... it's imagine like Marmite. I think like Marmite with tar. Like it's really concentrated. It's really strong. It's got a really like bittery sort of taste. It sort of coats your mouth and doesn't leave it. Catches you like right at the back of the mouth. I should have noticed. I had a few to pick from this evening, and I've always thought that beers from Shropshire are universally awful. And I should have known by the brewery name that I shouldn't have gone for this one.
The awful ShropshireBrewery.com or something.
Most bitters from Shropshire. Have you okay, really specific. Have you ever been near a place where cows piss?
Not frequently.
I have.
There's a like a really kind of like vinegary smell to it, and I think that pretty much all Shropshire bitters have a taste that is that base, and then they just build on top of it. They are awful.
I mean, your expression kind of described that perfectly.
Yeah.
Listeners, just to try to paint a picture for you, Ben's face and his entire body language actually looked as if he'd watched the VHS that was in The Ring, and now his 7 days are up. Like every single muscle and joint was contorted.
So I'm going to sip this and try not to react too much throughout the show.
I mean, I like your review as well, like Marmite, but thicker, as if, I mean, because one of my first thoughts with Marmite is, well, golly, this is a bit runny. This is a bit runny for me. I'm genuinely surprised you managed to pour it out of the bottle and into your glass, and that you're not having to sit there with a spoon.
Chew it. I'm Laura, and I'm drinking a Pinot Grigio.
Oh, that's very fancy.
Very nice.
Hey,
It's a classy bird, my wife.
How viscous is that on the Marmite scale compared to...
it's pretty viscous, to be fair. It's pretty sloshy. It's water in the Marmite jar after you've cleaned it.
Okay, so chewy wine.
Hello, I'm Mike. I'm married to Laura, and occasionally on this podcast, and I am drinking a Hobgoblin Gold, which is a long-standing favourite beer. And Jamie, I think you were talking about having a Hobgoblin Gold recently, and it reminded me how much I love it. So I got myself a tin. This is my last one, and it is an amber ale. It's scrumptious. It's sessiony, and weirdly, it's slightly sobering me up after a punk IPA with dinner.
I've yet to find a beer that's named after some sort of mythological creature that isn't delicious. Hobgoblins, black dragons, green goblins, universally wonderful. So if anyone's got any recommendations for similar mythological ales and ciders, please let me know.
Or one that disproves the theory, I guess.
One from Shropshire.
Before we begin, I'd like to give a huge thank you to our Patreons for supporting us and all the weird stuff that we do. You are the wind beneath our wings, the candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night, the water at the end of my Marmite jar to make it last that little bit extra. And this week, I'm going to give a special shout out to two of our wonderful Patreons, Dave Shaw and Karen Kate. Thanks very much to both of you for keeping us off the streets and on the air.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, what is the Infinite Escape Room? Well, it's much like the escape rooms you're used to seeing out in the real world, but this one stretches across all known themes, dimensions, and multiverses. And because it's infinite, there is no end. Every room in the Infinite Escape Room links wonderfully into the next in one big, never-ending escape experience adventure. Each week, one of us will present a part of the Infinite Escape Room. This week, it's me, while the others will try and solve it. If they don't escape within the allotted time, then very unpleasant things will happen to them. And if they break anything they're not supposed to, they will lose their deposit, which I will leave to you for this week. What would you like to forfeit if you break anything you're not supposed to? What do you value? You can't say Shropshire Brewery.
That is,
Think of a better county.
Think of a better county. Any one that isn't Shropshire. Think of a better county in their beer.
I'm surprised you're coming up blank right now.
This is basically sort of the Marshmallow Man, the Stay Puft Man thing. Think of that's all I can think of.
Don't think of Shropshire.
How about thinking of Stay Puft? How's about the Tiny Rebel Brewery? Because they do almost universally fantastic beer, except for their pine scented one, which tastes like something you clean a car with.
It's their sours we didn't like.
Oh, no, the sours were horrendous, but all sours are horrendous.
Yeah.
Alan kept trying to give them to us every time.
This beer's gone off. Okay, new label. It's now a sour.
But the clue's in the name. Like, there are certain things that should be sour, and beer is not one of those things.
No, it's gone off. It's literal gut rot.
So if you break anything you're not supposed to, then the world will lose the Tiny Rebel Brewery forever, which would be...
Please sponsor us, Tiny Rebel. We actually want you to sponsor us, unlike Shropshire.
Yes, we like your beers, Tiny Rebel. Hello. So, are we ready?
Yes.
As it'll ever be.
Yes.
Then let's enter the Infinite Escape Room. Last time, you found the Lucida key, freeing your minds from Danny's COVID-fueled fever dream. You wake up looking at a pulsating chrome sphere that pulsed all the more intently the closer you got. The chrome sphere begins to sparkle and spin like a disco ball, blinding you with light and overwhelming your senses. With your gaze transfixed, the world around you begins to melt as your surroundings shift, and you find yourself in the middle of a gift shop. There's a distinct smell of tea and salt water in the air. There are tri-corner hats everywhere, and the sound system is blasting out the Hamilton soundtrack on repeat. You must be in the Boston Tea Party Museum, just in time for the US Independence Day. What a coinky-dink. Before you can get your bearings, a man wearing a suit with sunglasses and a baseball cap rushes through the front door. Ah, you're the guys that Cam sent? You're late. This place is meant to open up in 30 minutes, so we don't have much time. First of all, don't make fun of the accent. I'm an army brat. I was raised on a lot of air bases and never quite fit in. Very traumatic, so say nothing. So you guys should already know the brief. We're looking for the sole surviving box of tea from the Boston Tea Party. Rumor has it that one of the revolutionaries smuggled it somewhere nearby. He tosses you a burner phone. I'm going to stand guard outside. When you work it up, text the right location using this phone. If you don't, well, let's just say that things are going to go royally bad for yous. He walks back through the entrance and locks the door behind him, leaving you stood alone in the gift shop. Your time, it would appear, starts now. The gift shop itself is packed with all the tact you'd expect from a historical museum. There are pens, mugs, local maps, and those fun tri-corner hats. There are also some model ships that are on sale in the middle. And you see on the opposite wall to the entrance is a curtain that leads to the next room. What would you like to do?
Can I put on a tri-corner hat?
You put on a tri-corner hat, and it fits fairly snugly.
I got a lot of hair. It's fine.
Like a little Tommy Cooper fez just on the corner.
I like it.
Can I also put on a tricorn hat? Although I guess mine will be a bit looser on account of having less hair.
The only one available right now is the child-sized ones. Laura took the only adult one, so yours is very small on your head, but looks adorable.
Awesome. I'm okay with that.
I'm wondering why they're a tri-corner hat, whereas you don't say tricolour, it's tricolour, and it's not a tricorner.
Tricorner. There are a plethora of tricorner hats.
I think it's tricolor is more along the sort of tricolore, isn't it? Although it's like when you get it in like Italian restaurants and things like that, it's more saying it for the French or European saying it. So tri-corner is probably something else.
Tri-corner.
Can we have a little look at the ships in the middle, if there's anything important about or that stands out about them?
Yeah. So there are a couple of dozen model like toy ships stacked in sort of a pyramid underneath a sign that says "On sale due to manufacturer error." when you pick one of them up, they seem like a pretty faithful replica of the ship that you can see on various paintings around the shop called the Dartmouth. Only difference you can really see is that on the paintings, there are 2 cannons on either side, whereas these toy ships have 2 cannons on one side and only one on the other.
Interesting. What side is the single cannon on?
The single cannon is on the starboard side, which I don't know what that is in real money. So you decide.
Neither do we, Sven.
So it's very important what side this is on. Gotcha.
Yes.
Do you know what I was thinking? Like, how do I remember that? I was like, Klingons off the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard. I thought, no, that's not telling me anything. That's just telling me where the Klingons are. So this is not a mnemonic for which is starboard and which is port. This is a song about Klingons.
If you were clinging on to something, you'd probably want 2 cannons rather than one to cling on to.
You're right, Ben. That is a good way of telling starboard.
There we go. That's foolproof.
But the two cannons are on the port side.
That's right, yeah. So the Klingons are on the one with only the 1 cannon, which is less than ideal.
Can I have a look? I guess, can I have a look inside my tricorn hat and quickly inside Laura's tricorn hat as well?
Yeah, you have a little fondle around inside both tricorner hats, and you find that it's slightly padded, but nothing more.
Okay. Ben, would you like a tiny hat?
I would love a tiny hat, although I'm wondering, given the child's size, are there paper clips around that I can sort of weave it into my hair?
Yeah, you find some paper clips that you can weave into your hair to keep the little hat atop your buns.
Could we have a look at the burner phone, please?
Yeah, it looks like an old Nokia 3310. Doesn't have any functionality in it. You can send text messages and calls, and that's pretty much it.
It powers on? There's nothing written on it particularly. It's not like there's not like a phone number taped to the back or anything like that.
There's only one contact in that phone, and you presume it's the person that gave you the phone.
Any text messages sitting in it?
Completely blank. It is a blank slate.
Cool. Should we check out this other room, the room behind the curtain?
Yeah, if you want to get to the room where it happens. So,
Oh, dear Jamie.
So just very quickly before we do, was there a till in that room as well? Presumably to pay for.
there's a counter, but there's no like traditional till. It's one of those like just card readers. You get your contactless
cool.
boopity boops. So
Proceed.
you walk through the curtain into a circular dimmed room, and there are a number of historical objects from the American Revolution behind glass cabinets, as well as a full costume mannequin of Samuel Adams. To your left, you see a series of portraits of important American revolutionaries, and to your right, you can see a replica of the historic tea ship, the Dartmouth. There's also another curtain opposite the one you came through that leads into another room.
Can we take a look at the Dartmouth?
You certainly can. So it is an impressive replica. It's about 5 feet long, and you can see from the painting behind it that it is a pretty faithful replica as well. The colours are spot on. It's got 2 cannons on either side. It's even got the ruffles in the sails to match the painting.
Can I take a closer look at the 2 cannons on the starboard side? Just to, I guess, see if any of them are loose or jiggleable.
You give them a mild jiggle, bearing that this is potentially a historical artifact, so you give it with the utmost care. But as you give it a proper look, you notice that the extra cannon, the one that's not on the toy ship, does have something stuffed inside it. And you carefully unroll a note.
The note says, if you British nobs are looking for the lost tea chest, then good luck. I've hidden it in one of the many islands in Boston. Only true patriots can even come close to it. Can even come close, at least initially. Now that all the other tea has been destroyed, I can sell the lost box for an absolute fortune. Now that's the American dream. Hugs and kisses, Benjamin Livingston. And then there's some arrows. It says 1 pointing right, then 1 up, 1 left, 1 up, 1 right, and then 2 down.
Is that a Capcom code or something?
Almost.
It's left, right, AAB start, isn't it?
You enter God mode and can ascend through the roof. You solved my puzzle, Dan.
Can we have a quick look at the paintings of the figures?
Yeah. So on the opposite side to the ship, there are 9 portraits altogether underneath a sign that says Forgotten Patriots. They're arranged in like a 3x3. So 3 in one row, 3 in the next row, 3 in the next row. And you can see a commonality in that they're all a bunch of white, slightly balding, fat blokes with stern faces, as seemed to be the style in 18th century America.
I feel attacked.
He said slightly balding.
Oh! Burn. Each portrait has the name of the person on a little plaque, underneath it. In the top row, you've got left to right, you've got Rex Ellery, Emmett Nightingale, and Paul Underhill. In the second row, you've got Dominic Green, Richard Eads, and Rufus Peel. And the bottom row, you've got Benjamin Livingston, Ulysses Evans, and Levi Ellery.
So I'm wondering if we can figure out who we might want to start with through something else. Maybe using those combinations of arrows, we can come up with the answer to something.
No, yeah, because we're trying to find out where the treasure's buried. Aren't we? I said the treasure, the tea.
It was Islands of Boston. Should we go back and grab a map from the gift shop and look at the Islands of Boston, maybe?
If you like, yes. So you run back to the gift shop, and there is a little box with a bunch of postery local maps. So you unroll one of those maps, and it shows you a number of historic locations around Boston and the small islands around it, which will be your single and only handout for this evening, I am pleased to tell you. And we'll put that in the show notes for you as well.
I see a map.
Top marks.
Okay.
Top marks. Top marks.
So there is a map. It's quite sparse, actually. I was expecting something a little bit more full. It has in the sort of bottom centre the words Boston Islands. There are a number of islands on here. Going right at the very north, we have Deer Island. And then across the middle, left to right, we have Thompson Island, Spectacle Island, Long Island, and Fort Warren. And then bottom right, we have Fort Andrews and Hull.
Yes.
This might be a joke map or something, because Hull is quite far away from Boston.
This is 100% accurate to the islands near Boston Harbour. This is... The geography has not been doctored in any way.
Did they copy Hull? Who's been to Hull and been like, oh yeah, this again?
This, but with more humidity.
This would be like arriving at like, hey, welcome to New Luton, New York.
I guess it might be sand, but so there's obviously a lot of water, a lot of sort of blue space, as it were, and a lot of the islands are green. However, there looks to me to be like some islands either have white patches on, or some islands are almost entirely white. I'm going to guess that might be sand versus grass. I don't know if that's significant or just styling.
This is what Google Maps gave me when I looked for an old-timey skin. So I will leave it to your imagination.
There's a code in there.
Imagination, quickly. Cipher. Index the alphabet. Divide by pi. I feel like we still need a little bit more information in order to put these things together. So we've got...
There's another curtain.
Yeah, should we go through the other curtain? Look, what's behind... Curtain number two. Curtain number two, yeah.
So you go through the second curtain into the third room, and you find it is a tea room. The tea room has a few tables and chairs, and space on the counter for cakes that haven't been put out yet because the museum is not officially open. On the counter, there are a number of large copper urns, and there is a machine next to them that reads Auto Barista.
Can I have a cake?
There are no cakes, unfortunately, Mike. The shop's not open yet.
You specifically mentioned cakes.
Where the cakes would be, but no cakes, Mike. I'm sorry, but there is tea. There is tea.
Could we go to the Autobot, please, and see how this contraption works?
Yes. So you approach the Auto Barista machine, and weirdly, you find a stale cake behind the machine that Mike can munch on. It's
a cake! Hooray!
You find a spot of blue that's not meant to be there, but the rest of it looks okay.
This will be 100,000. We won't know until 8.
So it looks like a mini vending machine. It's got a little digital display on the top and a small drawer that you can pull out underneath. And on the machine it says, "Hi, I'm your Auto Barista. Create the perfect 18th century tea blend. Just press the buttons of the teas you want to mix and hit blend. I'll create a tea just for you, and I'll even give it a historically appropriate name."
What are our options?
Yes.
So on the display, you've just got 7 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one that says the word blend.
Can I just hit the one button?
Yep.
How many copper urns were there?
There are 6 copper urns, each containing a different type of tea.
Ah,
Should we have a look what they are before you start pressing buttons?
buttons.
I know. You can press buttons at some
You
point.
can press as many buttons as you like.
Fine. Can we look at the urns just to see if there's anything traditional on them?
Certainly. Yes, so there are 6 copper urns. Each of them has a different kind of tea inside them. They've got a little spout that you can pull out to pour, and there's a bunch of cups and saucers next to them. The urns are numbered 1 through 6, and there's a little card on the table that says, free samples.
Can I sample number 1, please?
Yep, you pour some tea into the cup. It's kind of browny tea coloured, and you take a little sip, and you get you taste grapes. I know. America can't do tea. Sorry, America. You threw it into the water, so you don't know how to recreate it.
If this were my puzzle, the copper urns would be a policeman called Urn.
Note for next time.
Could we move on to number 2, please?
Give yourself a sample number 2, and you give it a taste, and you get the distinct flavour of apple.
Wonderful. And I'll let someone else take over.
Number 3, please.
You sample number 3, and you taste strawberry.
4.
Number 4, you get a sort of a vanilla-y flavour.
Can I have a little sippity sip of number 5, please?
You neck number 5, and you get a very strong flavour of blueberry down your gullet.
Does this taste like tea at all, or am I just getting fruity things? Basically, I'm trying to work. Have the Americans forgotten what tea is? Is this in fact a juice factory?
It's just hot, thin juice.
Because I mean, hot Ribena is fantastic, but still.
But not tea.
Precisely, that's why they call
This
it.
is just like
hot
fruity
Ribena.
teas, because I think fruity teas just taste like really, really weak squash, and I hate them.
But fruity teas are mostly not tea either. They're just infusions.
Exactly.
It's fair.
But it's called infusion, not tea. So, oh, sorry.
Because everyone calls them tea. I was like, I'll have some chamomile. It's not tea. It's not. It's an infusion. It's a chamomile infusion.
That's it.
Oh, I love it when Ben gets cross. There's just something really, really quite beautiful about Ben getting. Ben, can you say pissed off again? I love it.
Bloody pissed off.
Oh, it's so good. So good. It's like watching the Queen Mum swear. Brilliant. It's like if she'd come out on a coronation, just been like, my loyal subjects, assholes to a man. Piss off the lot of you. I'm rich. Goodbye. Like it's that same level of. Sorry, and what about the 6th there? What's that take?
You take a little sip of number 6, and your face does the same thing that Ben did when he sipped his Shropshire Brewery. So
dear.
you can't, just based on that reaction, you've got a strong sense that this is lemon flavour.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe we can find do we find out what tea tasted like then? So rather than we got to find the original tea, can we just recreate the original tea?
Oh.
The auto barista. Does it look like we could blend all 6? Does it look like we only have a selection of like 3?
You can tap, by the looks of it, as many or as few buttons as you want.
I mean, if it was me, vanilla and blueberry, well, vanilla, blueberry, and apple would be a good infusion. So I'm going to try 2, 4, and 5.
Sure. You press 2, 4, and 5 into the auto barista and punch the blend button. There's a brief whizzing and whirring, and then there's a little bing. You open the drawer, and inside is a little pouch of tea leaves called Custom Tea Blend, Rabbit's Hole.
A rabbit's hole.
It's probably a long shot, but as it says, if you're looking for the last tea chest and good luck, I've hidden on one of the many islands. When if we make the tea blend, it might give us the island.
Oh.
Again, this could be a complete long shot, but
What tea blend?
I don't know. This was just a small light bulb moment that could be like the wrong light bulb.
So a Long Island iced tea is the only islandy drink that I know. But I've got no idea what is in it. Presumably, none of these things.
I've got a clue either, so you're in the clear there.
I think there's rum. There's rum in Long Island iced tea. I know that. That's all I know. But we've got the paintings as well with people's names on. So Benjamin Livingston is the one that signed the note. Could I take a look at his portrait? Is there anything?
You take a look at old Ben Livingston's portrait. There's nothing you can deduce from the picture itself. He's a bald, fat, white dude with a pompous coif.
Oh, that's a really... So those paint portraits were in a 3x3 grid, weren't they?
Yeah.
So if we took Ben Livingston,
Mhm.
who is bottom left, and then went right, and then up. Ben, you've probably already left out, haven't you?
Right, down. You get to number 9, Levi Ellery.
Yeah, can we take a closer look at Levi Ellery?
You take a look at old Levi's painting. Again, he looks like the same balding, fat, white dude with a massive neck coif. as they were known in the 18th century, but nothing really untoward.
Neck coif.
Or the cravat tie things.
Oh, I thought it was like, that people get to like a certain kind of income bracket and they develop that big ball
Jowly
of
thing.
fat.
Maybe that's what the frill
Under
was for, is to hide that, the twat riffle.
Someone to tuck it in. Yeah.
Is there anything behind his painting? Have you done a sneaky Ben on it?
There is no sneaky Ben behind any of the paintings, actually. It's just
Just a sneaky Ben with us, as always, in our hearts.
all the paintings seem to be pretty normal paintings with the plaques with their names underneath.
There are 2 Elleries. So there's
There are.
Levy and also Rex, which top and tail the paintings, as it were.
You have 10 minutes remaining.
Ah.
So, levy is also a thing that you impose, a tax.
Yeah, but the name is Levi, isn't it?
Rex is when you break stuff.
Or it's the place for a king. Like, isn't that isn't it what ER? The R, if it's a king, is Rex, isn't it?
Rex is Latin for king. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No knowledge of Latin is required.
Oh, right. I was just wondering because, wasn't that part of the whole, overthrow the royalty and all that kind of gibbons?
And yet there was a Rex there all along.
Everybody got wrecked.
Shipwrecked.
Oh my God, Ben, you've solved it. To have a celebratory drink of your delicious Shropshire ale.
A full body shiver.
It's not like made up either. Ben's genuinely like having a real shudder. I mean, I'm just astounded you're still drinking shit 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah, stop talking.
Okay, have we explored everywhere there is to explore?
I believe you have explored everything there is to see. You have all the items and all the clues that you need to solve this.
Jism. I was really hoping that was
You have
going to tie it all
plenty
together,
of
but we missed.
jism, but it will not help you.
Can we go back to the Dartmouth ship model, the big historic one, and take a look at the cannons on the port side, please, just in case there's anything hidden in there.
Yep, the cannons are both empty.
So I just having a little think about those directions. I don't think that they will work for anybody else on this to start anywhere else on this grid of, and I also don't think they're going to work on the map. And if you start anywhere else on the matrix of paintings, then you either go up too much or right. And I presume, Jamie, that the buttons on the auto barista are like in a line or something like that.
They are, yeah. Yeah, they're in a horizontal line.
Jamie, on the auto barista, can I try 5 and 1?
You put in 5 and 1, a hit blend. You have a little tea chest, a little bag of tea leaves. That's called Custom Tea Blend Ship's Ass.
Okay, so that was a carefully decided name that's definitely critical to the puzzle. So the reason that came out was because I took the directions and thought, oh, what shape do these make in the grid? And I thought, it looks a bit like a 5 and a bit like either a 1 or a 7. I thought, there's no 7 on the dickory-do. But that was a dead-endy end-endy. I can't see the directions applying to anything other than that so far.
Can we please go and have a look at Samuel Adams?
You see Sam Adams. He's resplendent in his outfit. He has a tricorner hat. He's holding a bottle of Sam Adams as well, which is weird and very not in keeping with the time period. But he just seems like a normal mannequin.
Only true patriots can even come close, at least initially. I feel that's probably significant. We might be missing something in there.
Maybe, yeah.
True patriots.
I'm struggling.
Should we maybe get a steer?
Yeah, can we get steer, Jane?
Yeah, so that letter from Benjamin Livingstone is what you need to progress. And Mike, you are on the money with that one particular line being important.
Only true patriots could even come close, at least initially. Is there something significant about where Sam Adams is in the room?
No, he just seems to be placed where there's space for him.
I'm trying to think what signifies a true patriot. I don't know what signifies a true patriot. I don't recognise any of these names in any way.
Isn't it one of the many islands in Boston? Tricorn hat. Can I overlay my tricorn hat on the Boston Islands map?
Nothing seems to happen when you do that.
I was wondering if it was some sort of crazy hat cipher.
Just trying to break things now. If we look at all of the paintings, none of them appear to be hinged or they're all wonderfully secured to the wall.
They're not secured, but they're all normal paintings.
And there's nobody with a True Patriot badge on their lapel or anything.
Nothing with a True Patriot badge, but the sign above the paintings does say Forgotten Patriots.
Only true patriots can even come close, at least initially. Something close to... What's near the true patriots?
Forgotten Patriots. They doesn't mean they're true patriots, they're just forgotten patriots.
I'd assume they're true, they're patriots.
And none of the names match with anything on there.
I would focus on the latter part of that core sentence.
At least initially.
Are any of them wearing glasses?
A couple are, but...
Just because I think of Spectacle Island.
I'm even more confused now.
I feel that if we had the right tea, that's going to help us somewhat. I think maybe there's some answer to the order or the combination that we want for the tea is where I'm going. All I've got at the moment is Levi starts with an L, and we have lemon, which is 6. Oh, lemon, which is 6. P. No, that doesn't work either.
Can we get another little steer, Jamie? I'm conscious we've probably got seconds left.
I would focus on the last word of that core sentence.
Initially.
Initials.
Oh,
ENPUDG. Okay, hang on. His name's fucking Ulysses. Top knot. Blue. By
Jove, I think he might have it.
Grapes and blueberry, I've got.
That sounds good. Let's do that.
But you did that already, didn't you?
Did I? No, I didn't. To the tea machine. 1 and 5, please.
You pick in 1 and 5, you tap it in, it spits a blend called Sweaty Prince.
Oh, I did. You're right.
But it wasn't called that before.
ship's ass before.
This machine is making everything go along.
But you are
How
on the
are you
right
getting
track.
those?
Oh, hang on. Yeah, Ben, how are you getting the grapes?
I've got G for green. I've got R. Rex is the R. Basically, I just... Oh, is there not an A?
No, there's no A.
There's no A. So is there something else with a G in it?
So it's Rex Ellery, so it's REENPU
PU,
DG
DG.
RERP BLUELE.
Okay, so it goes blue, red, green, purple. Blue, red, green, purple. Which if we then do into the machine, blue, red, green, purple things would be blueberries and strawberries.
So what numbers are you pressing into the barista?
1, 2, 3, 5.
You press buttons 1, 2, 3, 5 into the auto barista, punch the blend button, it comes up with a little custom tea blend called Short-Sighted.
Spectacle Island.
So can we text Spectacle Island on the burner phone, please?
Certainly. 65 seconds left. You type in the words Spectacle Island into the phone and hit send, and after a few seconds the gift shop door opens and the agent ducks his head under. Good job, gang. You made short work of that mystery for sure. I've sent my extraction team to verify the location. Please follow me outside. You step outside into the humid Boston afternoon and are greeted by the sight of a gilded carriage pulled by a team of white horses. The man smiles and takes off his hat and sunglasses, revealing himself to be none other than flappy-eared grumblepunk Prince Charles. That historic tea chest will make a fine gift for Mummy's 100th birthday, so my thanks to you. But now you know my secret, I'm afraid. I can't let you live. Here's a little something courtesy of the Royal Marines. He presses a button on his watch and shouts, "Banana a go-go!" And you hear a growing cacophony of whoops and screeches. You can't see anything, but you can hear several 100,000 somethings getting closer and closer by the second, and they sound pissed. Your only choice is to leg it through the city, running for your lives from a swarm of manic microscopic monkeys with the maniacal and enraged cries of their master, Prince Charles, echoing after them. To be continued, and you've solved my puzzle. Congratulations.
That was
That was
amazing.
close.
I had no idea towards the end how on earth you were getting the colours. I was like, okay, so
Took me a minute.
I can see there's actually green. There's a surname green, but I can't see red. And And then I realised what you were doing was you were starting at Benjamin Livingston, who was bottom left of the painting, taking BL, going right as per the arrows to Ulysses Evans, UE, and that gives you the blue, and then you followed the picture around.
That took me a minute.
If anything, I was struggling to think. I was like, 'cause I took you when you were like grapes. I was like, Ben sussed this. Ben's jumped 6 stages ahead, and then as I kind of progressed, I went, how the fuck did Ben get grapes? Where the hell did they come from?
Basically, what I was doing there was looking at what we had and going, oh, there's a G and I can see an R and there's a P. Yeah, there's grapes is one of them. And I didn't kind of go, just trying to, I guess, short circuit a little bit.
I even had the initials in the grids and I still didn't work it out.
I even had, I got the blue and there's a double R and there's a Y and there's no Y in there. Why did I think there's a, because I saw Ella and there's a Y in there.
Because you got the order for that grid. And they're right, okay. They've got that. As soon as they get the initial clue, then they're laughing. But then you forgot about the arrows once you got the initial. Like, oh, no.
Oh, that was fiendish, Jamie. That was so fiendish. It was good, though. It was good. It's so fiendish.
That's the thing for me, is that I built the grid to say this is the collection that they're in. And then I've got your list on the board. So was then like transposing them across like that. So having the initials next to each other didn't actually do anything for me because they weren't. They were up and down on there. I had to mentally put it left, right, on.
Gotcha.
I just couldn't connect initially and initials.
No.
My brain was not prepared to make that very small.
It's not allowed.
It was just like, no, we're not processing this. Okay.
Thank you all so very much for listening. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on all your podcast or streaming services of choice, as well as our website, www.theinfiniteescaperoom.com. You can also follow us and get in touch via Facebook and Twitter. Just search for The Infinite Escape Room on Facebook, and we're at tier_podcast on Twitter. If you enjoyed the episode, and I really hope you did, I'd be very much obliged if you could leave us a review. It's a huge help in getting more people to find out about us. And if you want to say that Jamie was a particularly great puzzle host, then I'm not going to tell you what to say. It's all you. You do what you like. Or if you'd like to throw a few coppers into our hat, then why not join our Patreon? Head on over to patreon.com/theinfiniteescaperoom, where you can listen to episodes a week early, get a shout out on the show, listen to the raw chaos in our unedited episodes, and get exclusive access to our Discord community. We love you lots, and we'll see you next week on The Infinite Escape Room. Bye-bye.
Bye.